Today we're looking at the database component of the variant T2 for May June 2025. And so we go to page 5, which is task 3. All right, so here for task 3, we're going to prepare a report and then import the file runners.csv. And then we're going to set race number as the primary key in this table. We're using these field names and data types as a guide for this particular question. So you go straight to open database, and when you do, you click on blank database once, and then browse to locate where you want to save this file. So I'm going to save this in my working area. That is in 2025 working area. So I click on open and okay. And then here I can change the name of the file. So I'll change it as 22/May June 2025, and I hit on create. Okay, so when that is done, you close the table that is created by default, and then you go to external database, new data source, click on that and go to from file, and we're using a CSV file, so that's a text file. We click on text file, then we browse for the location of the file, and we are interested in runners, so double click and click on OK. It's still on delimited, so we go to next and click on advanced. Right, so this is the point. Before advanced, you make sure you check first row contain field names, and then we click on advanced. So this is where we're going to check the field names and the data type. So we saying that first name, last name are text, and race number is number, and then this is text, and the rest are numbers. So the only thing that is number in between the text is race number. So we're going to look at that. So here we have short, and that is number, and that is text, and everything else is number. So long integer is number, so we don't change it. Again, we have double is also number. So double is number in the sense that it's numbers with decimals, right? So if you have values with decimals, it's referred to as double in database. So there's nothing we're going to change here because everything is fine. The only situation where we could change something when it is number / currency. Okay, but in this case, everything looks fine. So we don't change anything. A race number is number, so we are okay with that. Um, so race number is number and text, and so that is fine. So this is okay. So we click on OK. All right. So and then we go to next, and then we choose our primary key. And here we are told to use race number as a primary key. So go to next and finish and close. So we had no errors. So we move on to the next part, which is making sure we go through this here. So race number is integer, and the speed in kilometers per hour is 2 decimal place. So we're going to do that in the design view. So we click here and go to design view. So speedometers this here, we are told the format is decimal. So here, so this is double here. So the number of decimal place here is 2. So we change that to 2, and still it's double. Okay. So we mentioned that double is value with decimal value. So the only thing we are changing here is a decimal place, which is 2. And that is it for this here. You notice that the rest are integers, so that is fine. We don't change anything here, right? So that is it for this question. So we're going to take screenshots for this here and save in our evidence. right? So that is the 14. So we save this as an evidence. I need you to take note here. You notice that when we pasted the evidence, the step number is separated from the um, evidence itself. So this, so like a widow and offer kind of. So we're going to push this down here. So we go to layout, breaks, and then we go to next page. So we make sure this evidence number goes with the evidence always, so that it's easier for anyone who is grading to know which evidence belongs to what image, right? So that is it for this year, step 14. We move straight to the next question to see what we need to do. So we're going to import groups.csv as a new table, and we're going to set all the data types to text, and then we set category code as a primary key. So another table to import. So this is saved and close. External data, new data source from file, text file. You browse, and then we're looking for groups, double click, okay, and delimited. First row contain field names. We click on advanced. Everything here is short text, so that is okay. Then we go to next, and then we choose our primary key. So here, our primary key again is category code. So cat code is the primary key. Go to next and finish. All right. So that is it for that. We taking a screenshot of the data types and the primary key. So close here. So we're going to open group and design view. And so that's the primary key right there. And these are the data types. So that is all we need. All right. So we paste that as evidence in step 15. All right. So that is it for that. We go to question 16. Create a one-to-many relationship between category code. So here we need to pay attention to which table comes first. So this is the field we are interested in the table category. Okay, so in the group table, so we're going to make use here of this table, and so here the table that will come first is the group table, and then a runners table. So we're going to close this here and create a relationship. So we go to database relationship, and this will come first. The group table comes first, and we are interested in the category code here as the question has mentioned. So cat code in group table, that is what we're going to use. And then we go to the next one, which is the runner table, and make sure everything is showing. Okay, so group table next. So we're going to link the category. So this again here is italic. So those are the two you are going to link. So cat to category. Okay, so cat here goes to category right there. And then enforce integrity, and you create the one-to-many relationship. All right, so we take a screenshot of this. All right, so that's all we need as our evidence. And that is step 16. All right, we go next to the next question here, which is 17. So add the following as a new record in the runners table. So we're going to add this new record. So we save this and go to the runner table, double click, come to the last tax here. That's this new record. So the arrow, the forward arrow with the star is used to go to a new record. So here we're going to enter in a new record. So we have Nina Harris. Hit the tab key to go to the next item, and we go to the next one. So we have 2521. is 1, 2. So you have to pay attention here. And then next one here is FS FSN 30. They are in caps, so we're going to make sure everything is in caps. FSN 30. The tab key to move to the next table or the next field. Then we have 2000, and then 25, and then we have this long. So this is a double. So piece FM here, piece KM. It's quite long, so we'll put it right there. So that's a double, an example of a double. So we're checking something here. So decimal, that's all. So that is it. We go to the next one, which is 14.0729, and the last item being 41. Okay, so when you're done, make sure you double check to be sure the field, the records you've entered are exactly what are here. So we have Nina Harris, that's fine, that's okay. 2025, that long double, and we have 14 to, okay, so everything is fine. So that is it for that particular question. We now move straight to produce our tabular report. Okay, so that is all we need for this particular table. So we're going to close this here, and we're going to create a report. So to create a report, you need a query. So we're going to use the query wizard. You can equally use the query design. You can use the query wizard or the query design. Any of them works. I just prefer to use the query design. So double click on that and bring in. So let's read the question before we start. So using fields from both tables. So please always make sure you are aware of the tables you're using before you start doing anything. So we're going to use both tables. So here I'm going to bring in both tables right there. All right. And we go straight now to see the fields we're going to use. Okay, so I will spend some time here because this is what makes a lot of students get the database wrong. The filtering part here. Okay, I think in the last video with 2.1 I explained how to easily identify from this question which part becomes the query. So I mentioned that the first two or first three in most cases, and when it contains a new field, are those components that will be in query. So here again, we're going to go over this here, which is the select the record. So we'll go straight to this note here. Okay. So here we mention creating a query. We always have to look for the word shows only the fields. Okay. And the next item here is also select the records where. Okay, so this is where the filtering takes place, and this is what I'm interested in for this session. So whenever you see the word shows only records, okay, then you are doing data filtering because you are out of the whole database. You want to show some particular record, so you are doing a filtering, or you are sorting one particular thing out of a lot of items. So if you don't do this here right, you're going to get your answer wrong. That is where people get 200 pages when printing. Some get 30 something pages when printing. This is what makes you get that wrong. Okay, so if you pay attention to this here, you don't have those issues again, right? So, for example, here is a shows record where office is. So when you see the keyword is, it means just type in whatever is required of you. So is Ahmedabad. So you are just typing under the criteria of office Ahmedabad in the database, and then again contractor is no. So again, under the field contractor, within the category section, you type no, right? So that is all you need to do here. And then there are cases where you do multiple conditions. That is, you are doing two or more at the same time. So here you have the includes again records, select records. So again, you see you are selecting. So it's either say shows or select, right? So you are selecting records where yacht name includes the text C and this is 10 or more, right? So here what it means is that when you see the word includes, it means you are using asterisks at the beginning and the end of that particular word. So in this case, it say includes C. So C is going to have asterisks at the beginning and asterisks at the end. Okay, so if you go to the next part, this again are some logical, mathematical, and logical criteria that you need to know as far as your database is concerned. So when you talk about greater than, so that is it. That's the symbol of greater than. So more than or after means that you are using greater than. Less than or before, you're using the less than sign. And that is greater or equal. And when you're using the word between, this is what we are interested in. Okay. So for example, between range and inclusive. Okay. So between and means that there's a given range and something also inclusive. Okay. So as an example, between 1980 and 2000, this is what you write. So use the keyword between and put in the values that have been required of you. Okay. And then there are cases where you use all. All right. So here, if we get any question that has to do with all, I'll come back to stress on this again. You type January or April on the same line when where you have the category for that particular field you are interested in. Not inclusive. It just use the word not. Okay. Now we go on to another keyword. So when you have contains or includes, it means you are using asterisks. Okay. And then here, if you have a word starting with, so that word comes and then asterisk. So it means it's starting with that particular letter or that particular word. And then ends with, asterisk comes and then the word you are looking for. So this is what you need to pay attention to again as far as creating the query. Okay. So we'll go straight to the database again and do this here. So we mentioned that this here, what you have shows only the fields and data and label displayed in full. That part of the question is where you are going to start your query from. So the fields we're going to use here will be here, category. So I'm deleting that. So category, race, all the way to here, category rank. Those are the fields we are going to use. And then we'll check above again to see whether there are some other fields here which are not included here but should be part of the filtering. Okay, so let's start and see whether we need some additional fields here. Okay, so we have category, race. So in here we have category and then we have race number, that is it. Then we have last name, first name. So last name, first name, just double click on them. Then we go to the next item, level and category rank. So we have level here, and then we have category rank here. Okay. Then we go up one step to check if there are other fields that needs to be part of this query. So if we look here, we have category rank here. We have category, but category, okay, category is here, all right? So category is here, so we are fine. There's nothing going to be added to this, okay? So now we're going to go to the filtering now. So we say category start with F, okay? Right, so we just saw where you need to um, do some. So under category, I'll come to the criteria section, and it said begins with F. So I'll put in F and asterisk. That is all, right? And then you go to the next part where we have all. So category rank is 1 or 2, all right? So here under category rank, so within the criteria section, so here you see criteria here, all right? Type in 1 or 2, right? On the same line under the category section of category rank. Okay, under the criteria section of category rank. That is what you need to do. You don't type the second value, which is 2, where you have the second all. When you do that, you not get a filtering right. Okay, so you always type it on the same line. If you want to use this second option, what it means is that you have to do for the all another the same thing up here needs to be down here, right? So just to save yourself from trouble, just put it on one line. So that is it for the filtering for this particular query. Okay, so when creating the query using the query design, you have to pay attention to the selections here. Okay, so if you look here, we are on cross tab, and that's not what we need. We just use this one here, just select and click on run. All right, so that is it for the query. We move next to the next bullet point. So sort data in ascending order of category rank. So this will be done in the report, and so when we are through with the report, we're going to do that, and then fit a single page, include the title best female runner at the top of the page, and has your name and center number. So this looks quite easy to do. So we're almost done with this here. So we're going to close this query and save it. We'll leave it as query 1, and so go to create, and we're creating a report. So we use a report wizard. Now before you create a query, make sure you just go straight in selecting the query you need in doing that, or you just come in here and just select that and bring in all the fields, go to next. Okay, so we've mentioned this again, everything is under one table, so there's not going to be any group in here. So we go to next. We don't do anything here, we just go to next. So here the question said we should do a tabular report, so we check it's tabular, that is fine. So we have to check whether the orientation is landscape or portrait. So here has a orientation of portrait, and so if we check that is portrait, so that is fine. So we go to next and we finish. Okay, so that is it here. So if we look at the table, we notice that some fields are hiding, right? So we're going to go to the layout view, or we can equally do this in the design view. But I always prefer a student to do this in the layout view, because oftentimes they end up messing up the records and then things go beyond board. Okay, so I'm going to extend this here, and this is the category field name, and this is the field itself. So I'm going to extend this slightly here to reveal everything there. Next, we have the category. So I'm going to adjust this slightly, reduce the length of the field, and do the same for the next one, race number. Increase the field size together with the data. And then first name goes in next. The last name follows. Followed by level. And then finally I have category. So I push in everything right there. Okay, so that is fine. So here the question mentioned we are supposed to give it a title. So best female runner. So it should be at the top here. So here we're going to change that to best female runner. And at the top of the table. So that is all I mentioned. So it didn't say anything about the size, so we can choose to format it or leave it that way. It won't take out any mark from our work because nothing was specified in that sense. So we'll just leave it that way. That is fine. Okay. And then finally, we're going to add your name, center number, candidate number, other report. So here we go to the page footer. So we always include our names at the page footer. So I bring this one down and go to report design, a big A, that is label, drag, and then put in my name. Candidate number and center number. And that is it for this report. So we now have to go to the report view to see if everything looks okay. All right. So here we can do a little adjustment here. It look as if some names are quite longer than we can preview here. So it's easier to do this within the layout view where you can see every detail. So just rearrange this. Right. Okay, the first name right there. So we're going to extend this slightly. Okay. So I think the longest name we have is this. So this, okay. And then the last name also extend it slightly to the left. So that is also fine. Then we go to level. Okay. Then finally we have the category rank. So again, when a question mentioned that fit on a single page, it means that nothing should go beyond this dotted line, right? So this is fine. And so the last thing to do here is to sort the data in ascending order of category, rank, in descending order of level. Okay, so what we're going to do here is that under category rank, we right click, okay, and then we have here smallest to largest. So that's the ranking. Then we click on this here. All right, so we can see that that has been done smallest to largest. But we want to add on to the sort. So we click on add to add the next one. And what we want to do next is level. And for level, we want to filter from Z to A, which is descending order. So we've done that for category and level. So we can equally use this here. But if there's an additional field, we have to add it here and then sort that as well. So that is it for the filtering for this question. So we'll look through. There's nothing else to do here. So that brings us to the end of that question 18. All right, next we move to question 19, which is also another tabular report. And to create this tabular report, we're going to go straight to this field here, and always start with shows only the fields. So that is how we're going to start, and then we'll move up and see if we have any calculated field in this question. So contains a new field called race time. So race time is a new field, which means it's not part of the table. We have to create that ourselves. So we this time around we're going to use a query wizard. So select query wizard. It should be on simple. Click on OK, and using tables from the two, we're going to do first name and last name. Right. So first name, last name. Then we'll go to age. So age comes next, and then we have level. So level is not here, so it means it will be in a group table. So group. So bring in level. And the next item is class, so that is class. And then we have the race time, which is a new field. We don't have that. Then we go to speed and event. So speed again should be in the runner. So speed here, and the event rank. Okay, so those are the fields that we need to bring in here. And finally, we're going to do this here, which is the new field. And this is calculated at runtime. And the field will be piece slash piece underscore km multiplied by 42.195. So we're going to create this new field here. So we go to next, and finish. All right. So this is going to be for the query. So we go to the design view. So that's it, and then we're going to include the new field here, right? So I'm going to right click in here and go to builder. So just give me a bigger view of what I intend to do. So we interested in race underscore time. So that's the name of the new field we are asked to create. And this will be piece multiplied by that. So again, here, we just want to look at what to do when you have a new field. So here again, if you have a new field, you bring in the name of the field as a new field, and then you always put a column. So it's separated by a column, and then you put in the formula, right? Which includes the fields that you are interested in. So this is just an example, right? So the name of the new field, semicolon, and then the formula follows, right? So that's what we're going to do right here. So we go straight to column. So that's what we need. All right. And then it says that we should use from the question piece time, piece km. So here you're going to select piece km, or you just type it. So this here contains the fields and the tables we are working with. So just double click on tables. And when you click on the first one, it doesn't have piece. The second one has that. So you can double click on that. All right. So it brings us the name of the field. You can do that, or simply just type in the name of the field, piece underscore km, right? And then multiplied by, so that is going to be asterisk. So that is 42.195. Okay. That is all you're going to do. So here you have piece. So you could just select that and say times 42 point that as we have here. So 42.195. So that is the new field we are creating. You click on OK, and that has been done. But in the order of the table, we notice that it comes right after class. So we have to move that field to where you have class, right? So I'll click right down here and click on top, right? Just on that bar, and drag it. So the black line suggests it's been moved. So I drag it there to where I have it. So class now come here. So race time is here, right? So race underscore time. That's the name of the field. So let's double check. That's a builder. So that is it. So, okay. So we are done. So we run it to see if it is working. And that is it. It's working. All right. So we can see right there. It's working. Okay. So we are done with this here. Level is, so we've seen another category for filtering. So we pay attention to this here. So under level, we're going to select novice. So we go back to the design view, and other category for level, we put in novice. Okay, and the next one is event rank is 100 or less. So 100 or less means 100 is inclusive or is less. So it's going to be less or equal to 100. So here we have less or equal to 100 for event rank, and that is it for that here. So we done the filtering. So we want to check if what we've done is correct. So you click on the run, and so here you see you have novice. That's correct. And event rank, you have 100 or less. So 100 is here. So anything above 100 means you've not done it right. Okay. So that is it for the filtering. And I've mentioned always that is the field or the area where a lot of students get it wrong. So just pay attention to that. All right. So we are done with that. So we're done with the query, basically. The next thing to do is to create the report now. So we're going to create the tabular report. And remember, to create a report, you always will need a query. So we're going to yes to save it. Okay. So this is the query that has been created, right? So that is it. Okay. So now to create the report, you select the query, go to create, and then we go to report wizard, select all the fields, go to next, 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 next. The layout is tabular, the rotation is landscape. So here, orientation is landscape. Okay, and that is it. Include a title. So this is going to be the title for this particular report. We're going to calculate the top speed here. Okay, so right here we go to next, and we're going to just change this here and go to finish. All right, so you notice that when I changed the name of the query whilst producing the report, it gave me the heading here as we will have typed in. So that's also another way to go about that, right? So calculate the top speed and place this under the end of the report. So we're looking at the top speed here. So that would be the maximum speed here, all right? So we go to, so again, to do this, we just do it in the layout view. So I'll close the print preview, home and view, and go to layout view. So this is speed. I select this, right click, and I'm interested in the maximum speed. So here I select maximum, right? And that is done. All right. So I'm going to uncheck this to display. That's it. So that's the top speed here. All right. So maximum. And we're going to add a title to this. So I have faster speed as the label to that title. So right again, we right click on this and go to set caption and change the name there to fast speed and reduce the size. Faster speed, right? So that is it for that particular question. Okay, now we're going to do some proper capturing. So we're going to add your name and center number to this query. So here, I'm going to start by, first of all, structuring so the longest name here is Ferdinand. So I just make sure I reduce that. Okay. Last name, drag that to the far end and then reduce that. And then we do that to H. And then we move next to level. Plus. Then we have the race time. And the speed follows. And finally, we have the event rank. Okay, so that is it for the rearrangement of the fields to display everything. And then finally, we're going to add our name and center number to the report. So to do that, we go again to the design view. So here to the design view, we do this as the page footer. So A, big A, and then we drag this here and put our names right there. Candidate number, and then finally your center number. Okay, so that is it here. You click on save and then print it out. So for this, we want to double check if the number of pages we have is, so this is just one of one. And often if you have any if you have more than 3 pages for your database, for as far as report is concerned, it means you have done something wrong. And I've mentioned often that would be this first part of the question, the filtering. So please pay attention to that and just make sure you score everything for database. So the last thing we're going to do is to place in our evidence in the database the formula for the calculated speed. So we'll do the calculated speed here. So right here we go to the design view, and that is the formula. So we take a screenshot of this formula. So Windows Shift S. And that is it for the evidence for step 19. Okay. All right, so that brings us to the end of the database question, tax 3. So we will be looking at the next question, which is the PowerPoint. So please subscribe, share the video, like it, and let's keep working and practicing. So till we meet again, bye-bye.